So looking at scenes on the CQ rack, scenes are they're basically snapshots of your mixer. We will have set some up, and they will be set up accordingly from 1 to 6, and they can be found here in the scenes. So default, large and full are set to 1, 2 and 3, and they're set to soft key 1, 2 and 3 here. We've also got band A, B and C for these ones, which are also all set up. But we'll run through now what each part of this screen does. So when we save a preset here, so let's look at band A. So to overwrite a preset, then you want to click the store button. It says, do you want to overwrite that? You can click yes, and that has overwritten what we previously had saved there. And now every time we recall it, it will bring it back to this setting here. However, you might want to set some restrictions for that particular channel. So for example, if I go to recall and say that I always want that channel to be able to recall everything apart from, I don't want it to change the automatic mixer or the balance. I don't want it, but I do want to make it adjust the mute and the faders. The input processing, do I want it to adjust the effects? No, I don't. I want the effects to stay the same, but I would like to save the EQ, and we can do the same. I don't want it to adjust the patching, and I don't want it to, but I do want it to adjust the preamplifier, which is your gain input, and the same for the names. You can then make the same decision of whether you want it the same for the effects, and then you can go to your outputs as well. I would tend to say that you want it to not make effects to your groups, but you might want it to make an effect to your auxiliaries, save how your main output sounds, but you might not want to make adjustments to your matrix. Moving on to your others, you will probably have some established mute groups, so say that you don't want those to do. Same for your output sockets and your control, just so that the system stays similar throughout every scene. That's the one settings that I would advise. So all red on the other. On the mix, keep your groups blocked and your matrices blocked, but allow auxiliary changes and main changes. And for inputs, if you want to pause the screen and do it like this, that's how we would advise that you set up a scene that's going to make changes to how things sound, but not how this desk looks and feels and the control of it. But if it all goes terribly wrong, you will always have this default one here, which returns it back to the factory settings that we've set it to. So do be careful when overwriting this default one, as you don't want to make changes to this default one, because users who only have access to the soft keys only have access to these first three ones here available to them. We may have also set some global filters and some safes. That's just to make sure that, for instance, the loop is always set to British Standard. We may have put that your loop output is fixed and is safe. So that means no matter what happens, the output and the routing to your loop is always the same. So that's scenes on the CQ rack. The only other thing I am just going to quickly show you is how to route a soft key to another scene. So if we go over to setup here, and then surface, and then soft controls, and then here where it says soft keys, these 7 and 8, we don't always program those up. So you could go 7 and you can go, I want it to be a, and then scroll down until you see, you could make it a mute group, so you could assign a mute group to that, and then all of those channels would mute. But for this case, we're going to say recall scene, say which scene you want to recall. We're going to say test on that, click apply, and then when I press that one there, that soft key 7, it will recall that test preset for you.